Captain Rick Rock TV. Let's get to the content.
As promised, I know it's later than I usually load on my last video of the day, but I promised y'all that I was going to bring y'all a video of Nolan Wells' friends at the same location that Nolan Wells disappeared from. I know you guys all want to know what happened. There's many questions. Why was his phone left on the boat? Who was the girl that he was left with, which goes by the name of Katie? Allegedly, this is what they saying online. So we're going to get more into details, take y'all to the exact location of the island that he disappeared from. So let's go over here. Check this out. This is the Officer Tatum TV. I'm going to take you guys over there and let them break down what happened, how it happened, and give y'all more intel of this Nolan Wells disappearance. Let's go.
Some of the boys that they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on.
If I'm sitting waist deep in water and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat. I open the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. All right, we're in Mississippi right now. We're getting ready to recount the exact path that the boys took, also with Nolan Wells, from where they docked the boat at all the way out to Horn Island and back. The boys are going to explain to me exactly what went on, how many people were there, how many boats were taken out, which I think the world is going to be completely dumbfounded when they realize what the truth really is, because the lies have been pervasive. So we're right here where Nolan left on the boat, and you'll find out how many people were there, how many boats, and then we're going to take that same path out. I'm going to go look at Horn Island and see exactly where they could have been to get a perspective that the media don't even care to try to do. And then we're going to take the trek back, and we're going to find out exactly what happened to Nola.
All right, we're going to stop right there. So y'all heard the friend said, when we get on these boats, it's quite normal for guys to leave their phones in the boat so their phone won't get wet. We heard that. Now, this is another thing. He said the girls, when Nolan stayed back, it's girls who witnessed that. Other girls, they heard him say he was going to stay back. Okay. Now, for some strange reason, this friend of Nolan Wells, this is one of the guys who've been knowing him since he was a youngster. And to me, either he's a good liar or he could be telling the truth. We don't know. It's a bunch of lies. It's a bunch of truths. It's a bunch of people with their opinion online. We just do reactions to these people. But the truth will come out, and we gonna listen to the rest. Let's go, y'all. Let's see.
It's the reason why I'm here, man. I want you guys to have a voice. I want you guys to be able to speak out and show what the truth really is, and then let the world decide. I just don't want you guys to end up in a situation where your story never gets heard. Right here is where Nolan and probably 20 other kids got on the boat. So it's not just Nolan and 3 other kids. That was a lie. That was a myth. I'm going to prove that. Right here is where the kids were docking, and we're going to show you a video that coincided. I'm going to walk at the exact angle that the video is being broadcast from, so you know that I'm exactly where I say I am. But the boys were here. Tons of people you'll see on the video is getting onto the boat, and they took 3 boats out. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just Nolan and 4 boys. It was a multitude of people on several different boats, and some of the boys.
We got exclusive footage right here. So I guess these are the guys getting ready to go on the boat. Or this is their house. Okay, we never seen this footage. We get some exclusive footage here. They got a nice house, man. They got some money over there.
Boys that they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on. But let me show you from the vantage point where I have the video to prove that I'm here where I say I am. And so right now, here's the angle that you're gonna see on the footage. It's just from probably that boat to, maybe about 30, 40 feet here to the right. And this is where the video is showing how many people were actually out there, actually getting on the boats. So therefore it debunks very clearly that it was only Nolan and 4 boys going out here to Horn Island.
All right, now here's the problem. For all my people who ride boats, who know about this boat, what's the maximum capacity that you can have on the boat? One of my buddies drive a boat, and he said it's only certain amount of people that could be on it. So are they over the limit of people that they could have on that boat? Look like a very small boat from the looks of it, what we just seen. So all my boat people, how many people are you allowed to have on that type of boat? Let's get back to it.
All right, you guys, sorry about the sunglasses. It's very bright out here, and I never wear sunglasses, but we're at Horn Island in almost the exact same position where the boys were, where Nolan was. So if you look out right here, just so you guys can get a perspective, you have the Horn Island here, but I want you guys to put this in your mind, what this was like on that day. You have boats 2, 3, 4 deep, from way down there where you can see all the way through here. You have thousands of people on this island, probably 2,000 people. So this wasn't some abandoned, secluded island where nobody's at. Obviously this is a Monday and there's a few people on the backside of the island, not a lot of people here. But on 4th of July, this is a celebration.
I'm glad you showed us this part, because I thought it was me, myself, some little island that they was on. That looked like an actual beach out here. Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, what else? Santa Monica Beach. If you guys been to California, for all my California people, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. This looked like the at Long Beach. So it's bigger than what I thought. I thought this was just some little island, you know? And you can imagine on the 4th of July, like he said, people everywhere.
And so this wasn't a small place where 4 boys took their black friend and dropped him off and never seen him again. This place was flooded with people. Tons of people, multiple boats, multiple friend groups. I mean, everybody's here having a good time. And then the boat gets towed out because it was getting ready to sink. And so, and for what I was told, they told Nolan, get on the boat, man, get on the boat, get on the freaking boat. And he decided, because he's an adult, that he was gonna stay behind. And all the boys that they've been accusing, and they saying it had something to do with his death, they were all gone at 4:30.
Is it proof of that? Is it any proof? Do we have any recording? At this point, is he say, she say? You know, I think you're doing a good job at covering this, Officer Tatum. I think you're doing an awesome job. But at the same time, is there proof of this?
They were all gone. And they told Nolan to get on the boat. He didn't. And then there was a report of somebody seeing Nolan around 6:30-ish. And so for them to come out and claim these lies, won't take the time to come to Horn Island, won't take the trip out here to figure out what happened, won't talk to anybody, pushing an agenda is wrong. And that's the reason why I came out here. I wanted to see for myself, what did this look like? What could have happened? You know, does the stories line up based on what I've seen and what I've heard from people that live here that were involved in this situation? This is where the lie started. People were putting out on social media, knowing that they're lying, that this is what it was like on a day that Nolan and his friends came out here to Horn Island. And if it was 4 or 5 people and they came out here and Nolan was with them, and maybe it was a few people out here like it is today, and Nolan came up missing, then maybe it would be suspicious. But they didn't take the time to give context to the people.
All right, now, the Officer Tatum show, he's basically said people is lying on these youngsters. People are making up stuff, probably for clicks and views, blaming it on these youngsters. But at some point, the truth will come out. A lot of people say that Nolan might have wandered off intoxicated. We found out that he'd been drinking. So this is what they saying. They said they all had alcohol. And the way that beach looked, it's possible that any one of us, let me go for a swim, especially if you're feeling good, not even go for a swim. Let me walk on the edge of that. Let me walk on the edge of that. Is it possible that he might have walked with the girl and the waves pulled him? I don't know. I want to know what part of this island that they said is 2 feet, then you take a few steps and you could end up in 20 feet of water. So we don't know what happened. None of us, even the reaction guys, even the people that are talking about it, we don't know what happened. We could be blaming these kids and say, hey, it's quite natural. Black guy goes out with white friends. You would expect something like this in a racist part of town. This could be a ritual. All the stuff that we didn't heard, all the stuff that we didn't said. but we still going to get to the truth. It's something that's hidden. At this point, we don't know what happened to Nolan, but we're going to find out. You can best believe the truth will come out.
Because they're evil and they're liars. So if it was like that right now, when the situation happened, I can see how people had a concern. But you got to replay this moment with thousands of people here. If anything would have happened directly involving Nolan and his friends, you can't tell me that thousands of people wouldn't have seen anything happen. And so that's pretty much why I want to come here and show you guys. This is what they want you to believe it was like on that day, which is a lie. They want you to believe they came to a secluded island, just 4 of them, and then Nolan is left behind, and then his body's washed up on shore, and nobody knows what happened. Nobody could have seen what happened but the boys. It's a flat out lie. Is there anything that you want to say, you want people to know about this whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, from someone, if someone's not from here, it's kind of hard to understand, you know, where the island drops off and how the island works. But you know, there's plenty of people out here, especially on the 4th of July. You know, this is where people come out to celebrate. And I mean, if you film the water, you can see right here, Brandon, where it drops off. I mean, you can see literally where it drops off. So, I mean, it goes from about waist deep water right there to neck deep. And then it drops from neck deep all the way to like 17, 20 foot. I mean,
but that looked like it's far away. Why the hell would you walk that far out there? That's far. Now, I was saying, what part of the, remember I just said it just now for the people who probably getting smoking bud or whatever, they don't, you know, they ain't keeping up. This is what I was wondering right here. What part of this where you could take a few steps and you could go 20 feet down? That looks pretty far. I don't think nobody would be that far unless you're surfing. I don't even walk that far in the regular beach.
We weren't even a quarter mile out the island, and when we were leaving, and I mean, it was 30 foot of water.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we're walking towards the east right now, but if you walk down to the west, that's where the west tip of the island is, and that's where the current picks up very, very bad.
People talk about the phone situation. I want to, because the way you articulate it, I just walked in the water with my pants, they're wet, and you can tell right away that if you're hanging out in the water, it doesn't appear, in my opinion, that you would have your phone on you. Is that typical for people to have their phones, or?
No, I mean,
Nah, that part right there, no, I don't even take my phone. When I go to the beach, I leave my phone right there on the sand with my shoes and other things right there where it won't get wet. But like they say, they got stuff that protects the phone from getting wet. But these is youngsters. I don't think they would take their phone in the water. At this point, I don't. What y'all think? Y'all think they would take their phone in the water or leave their phone on the boat? Now, if Nolan told them, hey, man, I'm going to stay back with this female, you think they knew the phone was on the boat and say, hey, you forgot your phone? Or did they realize the phone was left out the boat when they got where they was going? Did Nolan ask for his phone? Maybe he was so caught up in the young lady that he forgot about his phone. What do y'all think? I don't want to make up no excuses for nobody. I'm here to get y'all opinion. I'm doing the reaction. I'm watching this. This changes a little bit of things by me looking at this island and seeing, you know, hearing the conversation. Like I say, he could be telling the truth. I think his stepmother is the judge. So maybe he been laced up. I don't know. Let's finish watching it.
People come out here, especially on the 4th and, you know, Memorial Day, like, you know, days like that, they come out here to celebrate, and people get on the water to be off their phones, first off. Second off, if I'm sitting waist deep in water and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat, in a lake, you know, if you're sitting on a pond, if no one's getting out of the water with their phone in their hand, unless, you know, it's to take a quick picture. But most of the pictures taken on the 4th of July were on the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, and, you know, salt water, if you drop your phone in salt water, most of the time you're not going to get it back. Yeah. I mean, you know, especially the water's murky right now because there's been a lot of rain. You can't see, the visibility isn't good. The water isn't clear like it was last year around this time. And, you know, like, no one has their phone though, usually. I mean, unless you're crazy, I'm not walking around with my phone in my hand. They've been walking around Horn Island, you know.
How many people left the phone on the boat? Was it just his phone when y'all left, or
I mean,
other people have phones on the boat?
Absolutely not. Like, there was at least, well, I rode out here on a different boat, like I told you, and I grabbed my phone when I left the Palm Beach to get on the boat with Triton. I mean, to get on the boat with Wyatt because we were having, boat issues. And when I got on the boat, there was phones everywhere on the console. I mean, everywhere. There was everybody's phone that was sitting around the boat was on the console. Like, we had phones that we didn't even know whose they were, you know? And people just leave their phone, especially when people are drinking and, they're not in the right state of mind. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll just leave my phone and I'll get it later, and that's the way it is around here. You don't take your phone and walk around the island. There's plenty of phones on the boat and, spread out between the 3 boats that we had. And I mean, we had 20 plus people on spread between our 3 boats. So of course, everybody's phone was on the boat. I never saw someone in the water that day sitting with their phone in their hand, scrolling on anything or even taking pictures in the water. Yeah, someone might hop out the boat. A lot of girls like to take pictures, in the water. And so do guys, but, girls want to take pictures in the water. Half a second, you might hop out the boat and be like, oh, I'm snapping this picture of myself or of someone else. But as soon as I get back in the boat, I'm putting my phone up and I'm getting back in the water and I'm hanging out with my friends.
Yeah, that's just common sense, man. And describe to me what the day was like. I saw a video online. How hectic was it out here? I mean,
it looked like that water moving pretty fast to me right now. So yeah, let's find out how hectic that water was the day that they was out there when Nolan Wells ended up missing.
Right now it's barren. There's not a lot of people out here,
right.
But clearly that's not what it was on the 4th of July. So, like, how dense was it with people here?
Well, I mean, you look at all the videos, that are spread out online, and a lot of them, you can't believe what you see all the time online. You know that better than anybody. But I mean, there was boats lined up all the way down the island. And there was rows. There was a first row, there's a second row. We were in the 3rd row where it drops off. And then there was even boats in front of us. And this went all the way down towards the east end of the island. And then there was people on the east tip. And we're on the north side now, but there was people on the south side too, lined up all the way down. And if you talk to anybody on the coast about this, they know that. Yeah. I mean, 4th of July, this is the hot spot. This is where people want to be. This is where people want to come out, hang out with their family and friends. And
people say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left him. I see reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat. You told him to get on the boat. He didn't. What's the truth in that?
This the part that I've been waiting for right here. Because the girl said that he was going back to the boat. So I wonder, Officer Tatum, can you get that girl and we hear her story too? Because she said after she was done talking to Nolan, he said, hey, I'm going back to the boat. These guys right here said, no, I'm going to hang out with the girl. I'll catch a ride back. Let's see what he had to say.
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes.
Wait a minute. Hold up. He asked you, did y'all leave Nolan? You got talking about the boat. Let me go back about right here.
And people say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left him. I see reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat. You told him to get on the boat. He didn't. What's the truth in that?
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes in. So I opened the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. There's water.
What happened? The man asked you what happened with Nolan when y'all left him off the boat, man. That's straight to the point. Did y'all leave the man or what, man? What happened, man?
Water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit and which is the, by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So obviously we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat.
Why you stuttering? You ain't been stuttering the whole interview. You were talking fine. The whole interview, both of them. Now you stuttering. He asked you, did y'all leave the man? You stuttering that.
It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah.
What girls?
I'm glad you cleared that up because I think it's important for people to have the context of like what it was on that day, what happened, what didn't happen. And the beauty of all of this is that you guys have evidence to prove that, of course, you asked Nolan to come on and different things like that. So, but anyway, man, I appreciate.
They said they got proof. Uh-oh. They said they got proof they asked Nolan to get on the boat. So if they got proof that they asked Nolan to get on boat, now we need proof that the young lady said that when he was done talking to her, he was going back to the boat. Can we get proof from her too? Can we interview her too? Because if they got proof, it's all going to play out. Yeah, man. I think Officer Tatum is doing a good job at doing an interview. I don't know his angle, where he's going with this. A lot of people going to be upset at him, feel like he taking their side. I think that he's doing a good job with interviewing me personally, because at the end of the day, nobody knows what happened. And if this is my thing, as long as you get people to talk, no matter how long you get them to talk, all this stuff is being recorded. So Officer Tatum is doing a good job. He's doing a good job at the interview. Don't matter what we think about it, get people to talk. And once everything play out, all this stuff is recorded and it will be used in court if there's any foul play on these guys' end. Like I say, nobody know what happened, but we're going to keep continuing to cover it until we find out what happened. It might not be today. It might be a year from now. It might be 10 years from now. Hopefully that this case will get solved when we find out what happened to Nolan Wells. Was it a plan, a plot, or was it just a simple accident? We're going to all be here to see what transpired. Subscribe to the channel. Share the videos. Compton Rick Rock with Compton Rick Rock TV. I see y'all all on the next reaction. Oh, yeah. Share the video. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to the bottom of this. All of us together. Trust me, we're going to get to the bottom of it. I'm gone.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Compton Rick Rock TV. Also, hit that notification bell and catch every video when I drop it.